ask Dale to come up, but I want to acknowledge other people in the audience that make videos.
Hi, I'm Kevin Campbell, Kevin Campbell Films. I do TV commercials and a lot of web videos, just like we're describing here today.
Okay, very good. And Mark?
Good morning, Mark Williams with Williams Communication Group. We produce message-driven marketing videos to try to help businesses share their story and their experience, because people buy from those they know, like, and trust, and everything that we've been talking about talks about that experience, so you can get a sense of what it's like to do business with that person.
Very good.
I'm Tammy Waddell with Fireside Production, and we are a video production company as well. And we create videos for small businesses, large businesses, a lot of nonprofit.
All right, so what I wanted to do was kind of, you know, there's all kinds of different videos, and Dale and I have been talking a lot about this. And Dale, thank you for being here, and thank you for always filming our event. And so what I wanted to ask is, you know, there's all kinds of ways. I just asked who has a camera with them, and everybody here has a camera. Probably most people have a video camera with them today. And so why don't we talk about what you get out of using different equipment and different cameras and things. What kind of camera should I use if I'm making a corporate video for myself?
Right, there is quite a few different types of cameras that you can use, from a cell phone camera to a little regular video camera, to all the way up to professional cameras that can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. It depends on what kind of message you want to get out, and you always want to remember that whatever you're putting out there, you want to always put your best foot forward. And you know, you might do something that's really, if you're trying to do something that's real high-end, then you really want to use high-end equipment, things that are professional looking, so that when people do see the video, they're not going, well, this is not very interesting to watch over a long time.
So I think if you, you know, if you've got jittery hands and you've got grainy quality, and like I start playing that video and I see this is 10 minutes of something that looks horrible, I'm probably out of there a lot faster than if it's looking good and it's clear and it's crisp and it's nice. And so, you know, you can use your cell phone as a video thing. I don't think the quality is very good, and certainly your hand shakes around. You can get a flip camera for, you know, $100, $150. You can shoot a video that way. You know, they also teach web design in 6th grade. It doesn't mean it's a good idea, you know, to go to the grade school and have a kid make your website. And, you know, you can do a lot of things cheaply today, but I think you're always saying, this is me and this is my brand. Mark?
Somebody made the comment, I think, in this group a few months ago, that YouTube made good enough good enough. And when you're thinking about your brand and the examples you just gave with grainy, shaky, you can't hear it very well, do you really want that to represent your brand? And that's where, to Dale's point, you know, it is important to think about audio quality, to think about lighting, to think about the fact it's on a tripod so that you don't get motion sickness watching it.
When we think about making videos, we always think, well, there's a big cost associated with that. And each one of us has the ability to make a video, even if we're just using a cell phone or whatever. Start with what you have and try to think about a few key things. Like you mentioned, having your camera on a tripod, or you're trying to maybe even setting up even if you're using a cell phone, set it up on something so it's stable. Think about the lighting that's going on. You know, is there light on your subject? Is the subject lit from the back so you can't even really see them?
Hey, I'd like tips from you guys on lighting, because I think in general, I wouldn't know what to do for lighting that makes a good video.
And being able to have your whatever you're shooting with stable, having good lighting. Think about the sound quality. What kind of sound quality?
And so I think there's casual, and then I think there's poor quality. You know, the Beckham video, I'm sure, good quality, but it still looked casual. And I think for marketing and to get viral and to keep people engaged in it, it's got to be decent quality.
So it's the message that's far more important than the kind of camera you use.
That's a great place to start too. Whenever you're thinking about your video and doing your video, there's a lot of technology involved with that, but it's very important to think about before you even start to turn your camera on. What's the story I want to tell? what's the point I want to get across?
And that goes to the adding value and all the beginning of our conversation for sure. What are you trying to achieve?
Think about the ahs and the ums that drive you crazy. I work at the College for Financial Planning, that's my day job, where we do a lot of webinars. And just the other day, someone said that professor was filled with ahs and ums. Can I not ever have him again in a webinar? So my point is the content reigns, amen. But if a person with great content has terrible delivery, I'll get him to Toastmasters.
So I do want to go back to the what's good enough, and what's good enough shouldn't be what you're going for.
Yeah, and I wanted to follow up on that. Actually, I think it was the Coca-Cola campaign that was referenced when they said good enough is good enough, and I think that depends on what your goal is for this thing. And Coca-Cola's goal was, we want lots of videos, we want them consumer generated, we want to demonstrate that this is our audience, and so if that's the deal, you're going to have to accept that the consumer level video is going to be lacking in what quality standards you should probably apply to your brand.
I liked your phrase earlier, John, creating the experience, to echo what Kevin was just mentioning. We've all been to that restaurant we love, that hotel we love, that experience. If we can tap into creating that experience which you described, I think that's huge.
Right,
Thank
right.
you.
So what about sound? What would you guys say for sound? I don't have a microphone. I don't have a studio at my office. How am I going to make a video by myself? I'm assuming, we're kind of talking about that, and then we're saying, hey, or we can hire somebody that knows exactly how to do things. Those are the options today. Should I always hire somebody, or can I get great sound using some sort of a inexpensive device that I have? Comments?
Well, sound is important, but think about some of the other things. If you're recording in your room with the computer on, maybe there's a fan going on, or maybe there's some kids playing in the background, or maybe something else is going on in the background that's going to be distracting in you. Make sure that you're aware of that before you start your recording, because even that can help you with your sound.
Quick comment, and I would say that the microphones you buy are as important as the camera you buy.
You bet.
We're going to be heading to Scotland here pretty soon and doing a lot of going out to whiskey tastings. But I would like to know what would be good equipment to get into startup-wise in the video area for something like that. It's going to be on our website.
What kind of equipment are you using right now?
Right now, just a digital SLR
Canon 5D Mark II. Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest things that you could do, we're really talking a lot about sound. The digital SLRs today are fantastic. One of the big things that will make a huge difference for you is having some professional audio. Personally, I like to use the Sennheiser microphones. They use wireless pin-on lavalier microphones and also have wireless handheld mics. Those work fantastic. There's also a couple of different appliances that you can use to monitor the sound so you don't have the fluctuations in the volume on those as well. So I could talk to you about that a little bit later. That's a little more specific, but those wireless mics I think are invaluable when you're using those.
What would you guys say to that question?
The Sennheiser is definitely a good one. The sound that's in a video, if it's really bad, it's inexcusable, versus if it looks bad, like the guitar video that you were talking about, it may look really bad, but if it sounded horrible, you probably wouldn't even watch it, right?
And a lot of people said they even stop watching the video and just listen to the sound ongoing. So that's probably really important. What would you guys say to the entry level, hey, what should I get to do something decent?
They do have the mics that mount on top of the cameras too. They're the little shotgun type mics, like Rode makes one that's real good. Sennheiser makes another one that's great. But the wireless, I think, really outperform those quite a bit. You'd be more happy with them.
One of the things that I don't think has come through so far, but has a lot of parallel to the story idea that we've heard from Jerry and others, is that entertainment does not equal sales. And I think you have to be very, very clear in what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get awareness, entertainment's great. If you're trying to get sales, all you have to do is look at the track record of the Super Bowl commercials. They were tremendously entertaining. But if you look at the sales, they either were flat or many of them went down afterward. So for people who have a direct response kind of marketing set where they get paid on the response, not on how entertaining or how many awards it's garnered, Then you have to look at what is your sales message and what is your message that you want people to do.
And that could probably be a whole topic as to how you're gauging the ROI of what you're doing. It's time to move into our tips group.
So today we are going to focus on getting into our tips groups, and you can either use something about video or you can come up with a tip about social media in general.
Tip for LinkedIn is if you have your business and you can select your product in one of your services, you can put a demo video of what your company's doing or what your product is. So you can, there's actually a place to put your video in there.
The YouTube group came up with a technique that's called swap. Synchronizing words and pictures. So if you're producing your own video, it's important that the messaging, again, going back to that you not only tell people what your message is, but think ahead of time what visuals you might have to support the message that you're trying to convey.
Businesses can actually build an HTML Facebook page now where it's actually interactive, and the people that come onto our Facebook page can actually stay on there instead of taking outward links. If you're a real estate company, you can actually do full MLS searches if you build one of these HTML Facebook pages. The other thing that we tied into it was the ability to use the Facebook chat on our actual web pages.
Increasingly, people are using their cell phones to communicate and get information. It's hard enough for us to maintain our Facebook fan pages and our websites. There is an application called Mofuse, M-O-F-U-S-E, Mofuse, and in 5 minutes you can design a mobile website that works across all applications.
Our next events are going to be on May 20th and then June 20th. It's June 17th. I said June 20. My notes in the slide are different. We're going to talk about local marketing through social media, what tools to use, how to go out there and do more local marketing. We're going to talk about the legal ramifications of social media. Again, that kind of always is a never-ending topic of what can I do, what can I say, what can I use, where should I go, how could this impact my brand out there. And guys, thank you everybody to our sponsors. Thank you Dale, Shea Cirque, My Favorite Muffin, and guys have a great weekend. Oh, and Pete's Coffee, sorry. Thank you.